Alright guys, today for science we're going to talk about how tides work. So tides are the rise and fall of the ocean due to the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon. The orientation of the sun and the moon, as we've talked about this week, has an effect on the height of the tide. For example, if the sun and the moon are both pulling in the same direction, their combined pull will have a greater effect than if they were pulling in different directions, just like the pictures on this page right here. So you can see that the moon is actually in different positions, and that changes the tide. So a spring tide is when the sun and moon pull together in the same direction. So the spring tides have very high tides and very low tides. For a neap tide, that's when the sun and moon pull in different directions. So neap tides are a little bit less extreme. So then we're going to do an activity. You'll see that part of this is graphed, but then we're going to graph it together. So stay tuned and we will get started. Let's do this. Guys, so we've been talking about how tides work today. So we've got this little table here that I just showed you guys. And in the table to the left, right here, that's sample data collected from a place in California called Monterey. And that measures the tide levels for each high and low tide for 3 days. So the points for day 1 have already been plotted for us. We're going to plot the rest. So then we're going to complete the curved line from day 1, connecting it to the points we plotted for day 2 and 3. So let's see here. It looks like for high tide, we're going to do a 3.3. So you need to find about a 3.3 on this part right here. So I'm going to do that for 12:55 was our high tide. So 3. I'm going to guess that that's about here. And just do the best that you can. So that's where I put my little point. Then we had our second high tide at 11:04 p.m. and that was at 5.4. Whoa, that was really high. Sorry guys. So it's going to be about there. You guys can see right there. And then for our first low tide, it's going to be -0.8. And that was at 6 a.m. So I'm going to put that at about there. I'm just doing the best I can right here. Then we have our second low tide for the second one, and that is a positive 2.3, and that was at 4:54 p.m. So we're going to say that's somewhere around here. You guys see that? So we've got 4 points plotted here. And before we do our little line, I want to go ahead and plot the rest of our points. So let's look at day 3. For day 3, our high tide was at 1:39 p.m. And then that was a positive 3.4. So I'm guessing that's going to be somewhere around there. Then let's take a look here. For our second high tide, it was at 11:04 p.m. no, that was at 11:43 p.m. Goodness, sorry guys. Am I looking at this wrong? Oh, I was actually supposed to plot that for 1:39, so, well, we'll make that work. Alright, so 11:43, and it should be at positive 5.3. I'm just gonna guess it's somewhere over there since it's a similar setup. So like so. And then we have our first low tide, which is a negative 0.9. So that's gonna be a little bit lower, and that was around 6:39 a.m. So these are gonna look pretty similar, but not exactly the same. And like I said, just do your best. You guys have this. All right, and then our second low tide is at 5:37 p.m. and that was a positive 2.4. So 2.4. I'm guessing it's about there. So our dot should look like this right now. And now we're just going to go ahead and connect all of our lines together. And like I've told you guys about graphs before, what's kind of cool is that it takes information that might be hard to understand, and it actually makes it so that we can understand a little bit better. So you can see the tides going up and down and up and down, and it's a pattern. But thank you guys for joining me. You worked so hard today. Keep rocking it.